Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says she has some regrets and a warning for the American people. Also, the House of Representatives passes a major bill which has over 100 million Americans, well, concerned about. I'll give you the details here in this video. Let's jump right in. Thank you so much for liking these videos. Here we go. First, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says something unexpected. Take a listen to what she has to say here.
All right, our Edward Lawrence just sat down for an exclusive interview with the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. Edward, what did she tell you about the state of our economy today?
Yeah, and she's saying the state of the economy is going to get better throughout the year. I am still sitting in the seat. In fact, we just finished the interview with Secretary Yellen here in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. This is I asked her about where we were when President Biden came into office and where we are now. For example, if you look at chicken breasts from the day President Biden came into office to today, those are up 26%. If you run down the list of things we cook with, it's the same story. Butter is up 27%. All prices up 18.5% since President Biden took office. The Treasury Secretary is saying, though, once rents cycle through, as new leases are signed, inflation will come down more.
It takes a while for that to filter into the CPI. And so I have every expectation that the single largest contributor to it, to inflation, is going to be moving down over this year.
And that will bring the rest of it with it. So in 2021, you did say that inflation was transitory. Do you regret saying that now?
I regret saying it was transitory. It has come down, but I think transitory means a few weeks or months to most people.
And we know inflation has lingered now. The president's transition to all electric, all energy is up 35%. So that transition moving forward with the president's proposed budget, the Treasury Secretary is saying that she believes the investments will add jobs eventually, not giving a timeline. She also said that electric vehicles will catch on once consumers see the charging stations are being built out. Now, those could take years.
Yeah, so Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen regrets saying that inflation was transitory. Yeah, imagine that, because inflation, and they try to say that inflation is coming down, but when they even say that, all that means is that the pace of inflation is slowing down. When they say that, that means that actual inflation is still going up. It just means the rate of inflation is still going up versus last year. So if inflation was 0, all that would mean is that inflation is at the same rate as it was last year. So keep that in mind. That would mean that if, milk was, whatever, $4 a gallon, that now it's still $4 per gallon. Okay? It means that if inflation was 0%, it hasn't gone up since the year before. Okay, so when they say inflation's 3%, that just means that it's gone up 3% since the previous year. So don't, take the government's, twisting of words. You got to keep that in mind. We're really seeing Americans being pummeled by inflation being pushed up by gas, car insurance, and housing. And I'm not sure if they mean this by this headline, but home insurance as well, particularly going up a lot. I think in almost every state, home insurance really getting up there, and real estate taxes as well. Let me know in the comments if you are seeing this, your real estate taxes, your home insurance taxes going up considerable amount here in your state. Let me know in the comments what state, city you're in, and if you're seeing this, because it has been brutal. The one thing that has been on a tear for quite a while is the U.S. stock market. The Dow Jones Industrial over 39,000 here. Here is a one-year chart. You can see near or at an all-time high with a one-year chart showing that the buy and hold strategy over the long run does tend to be the best strategy. You will have dips along the way. As you can see, evidence here is a 5-year chart. You do have the ups and downs, but along the way, you do tend to have, with a buy and hold strategy, whether it's your retirement funds or whatever it is, we have seen significant growth here despite the inflation. Now, Congress, the House of Representatives, has passed a bill that could lead to a TikTok ban. About 170 million Americans use TikTok in the United States. The fight will now lead to the Senate, where the Senate would have to pass it. President Biden says that he will sign this bill to ban TikTok in the United States if it's not sold from a Chinese company to a U.S. company. China actually sent a threat to the U.S. saying that a TikTok ban would come back to bite the U.S. I think they're signaling that maybe they would ban some U.S. companies that do business in China in return. Maybe Apple, maybe other major U.S. companies that get manufacturing done in China. I'm not sure. You can let me know your thoughts here. I also wanted to throw this in here real quick. What's happening with the new child tax credits? This also needs to be passed in the Senate. This has been passed in the House of Representatives, but also needs to be passed in the Senate. The Senate has a backlog of bills that need to be passed, and they just passed recently here the government funding bill, which was one of the things that needed to be urgently passed, but was only a temporary bill that needed to be passed because, again, Congress can barely get anything done. So this is maybe, hopefully, one of the things that they will pass here soon, which would mean more money in the pockets of tens of millions of families. So this is one of the things on the dockets that has been passed in the House that will hopefully be passed in the Senate here soon. Again, the TikTok ban was just passed in the House, was passed overwhelmingly in the House, actually, with a vote of 352 yeses to only 65 noes. So you can see here, this was overwhelmingly passed in the House. The reason for this is China basically has a law that says any Chinese-owned company, Chinese government has a law that says China can come in and ask for all the data from that company, has to be given over to the Chinese government anytime they ask for it. And this would basically give all the information of all the users of 170 plus million Americans. This is why it's basically a national security concern for the United States. Here's what's also interesting of all these users, all these Americans, and other people nationwide or worldwide. One newspaper, the Global Times, accused the U.S. of ugly behavior and abusing the concept of national security to seize the app by force. In fact, they actually showed this picture for national security, the principle of fair competition, which of course we know China doesn't abide by at all. They literally just steal people's ideas all the time. However, TikTok is actually banned in China. So TikTok is actually banned in China. So let that one sink in. China is actually banned of their own app. Yeah. Users in the country use a similar app named Douyin, which is only available in China and is subject to monitoring and censorship by the government. Imagine that. So China's banned TikTok. They don't even allow it. And another app which is available in China is subject to monitoring and censorship by their government. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date with everything you need to know about on a daily basis. Thanks for liking. Share this video with everybody that needs to hear this. Make sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click here to see martial law coming to the U.S., or click here to see a major announcement by the Fed coming on March 20th. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.